Okay, Georgia Foodies, it's Nathan Johnson. If you find yourself in Augusta, Georgia, and you're trying to find the top 10 places to go to, I'm going to put together a list that you will love. And if you're interested in learning anything more about the restaurants we're going to talk about, the playlist that you're on right now has each of these restaurants in depth. So we're going to start with number one. If you're going to be starting your day in Augusta, you're going to want to try some coffee, right? So number one is going to be Trellis Coffee. I've never had a coffee shop that I loved as much as Trellis Coffee. We tried it out. We loved everything that we tried. Now, a few things you need to try when you go to Trellis Coffee is going to be their signature Trellis latte, which is like, reminds me of one of those Werther's caramel candies, but like in a coffee. It's delicious. It's like one of the best coffees I've ever had. They also have this coffee with Mexican chili, and Jose loved that one. And even the matcha blew us away. Jenny actually tried the matcha. She's really picky about matcha. She honestly didn't want to try this matcha drink because we're in the middle of nowhere, and how are they going to have good matcha when we are in the middle of nowhere? But she actually tried it, loved it, was blown away by it. I think they're using a similar Okinawan ceremonial matcha that we're used to, which is really, really good. I mean, it kind of shows that they go the extra mile. On top of the coffee, they do baked goods every morning. Everything's baked in-house and fresh. Try the focaccia bread. You will not regret it. Any type of focaccia you try here will be great. If you tried the coffee and now you want brunch, you need to check out the Brunch House. The Brunch House is a great spot if you want some good home-cooked meals. It's ran by a family. They do a great job. If you go there, you need to try the patty melt. It is delicious. It's made like a patty melt should be made, with bacon and cheese and the patty, of course. On toast, it's just delicious. Patty melt blew us away. I also really love the shrimp and grits. And lastly, you want to try the salmon croquettes before you go out of here. You will not regret those three things. Now, if you're looking for something more so for lunch, you got to go to Soul Food if you want something natural and healthy. And Soul Food Kitchen is basically a kitchen ran with a full slew of healthy ingredients. Everything's made in-house. Everything's made fresh. It's literally called Soul Food Kitchen, like food from the sun. So they are really, really about like homemade, like locally sourced kombuchas, locally sourced wines, locally sourced ingredients. So you actually can walk away from there not feeling so bad for eating the food, because the food is really, really good. And something you need to try is going to be the sourdough and eggs. That was my favorite dish here. They also have a unique type of kimchi pancake that was very unique and actually had a really good flavor to it. So try those things when you're there. You won't regret those two things. I love the sourdough and eggs if you want brunch. If you don't want brunch, there's a lot of other things that they do here. There's a sandwich called the Big Deal. It is a big deal indeed, but they are using dill pickles in the sandwich. Really good sandwich. Check that out, and you will not regret those three things. That's all I got to tell you. So number 4 on our list is going to be Tacocat. If you're not looking for something like soul food and you want something more like tacos that you can rely on, go to Tacocat. If you're with a group of people and you want to actually try the tacos at Tacocat, you need to try the taco flight. I mean, the taco flight will feed like 4 people, and I promise you, it's like 12 tacos on a flight. I just tried to go through it for content, and it almost took me out. I don't know if I could try anything else. If you're not a taco person, which is strange because you just won't be a Tacocat if you're not. But if you want to try something else, go ahead and try the chorizo dip. Try the churros. The churros are done very, very well as well. They have a birria quesadilla that is really, really good. Moving on. There is a cafe in the heart of Augusta, get this, that only has waffle makers for their kitchen. This dude's running like 5 waffle makers in the back, and he's making everything with a waffle maker. You order a burger, it's cooked in a waffle maker. Everything you get is gonna be waffles. He had so many waffles. I loved everything that we tried there. My top 3 things that you need to try is going to be the shrimp and grits waffle. The grits are literally cooked into the waffle. It's topped with like a shrimp sauce. It's delicious. There's also one that's a chicken and waffle where the chicken and the bacon is actually built into the waffle. It's also really good. There's a sausage you can dip it in. And lastly, there is like a peach cobbler that I loved. And that's more like a dessert waffle, but you know, just try it as a dessert if you can, and you will love it. This place is very unique to me because I've never had a place that actually just did waffles and everything in a waffle maker, but he blew me away. The issue was that he couldn't have a set kitchen in the location he's at, so he just went to waffle makers and made it work. So, hey, hats off to you, man. Next, we have Pineapple Inc. I didn't know I would find an authentic Cuban restaurant in the heart of Augusta, but I did. And Pineapple Inc. is a really good restaurant. They are known for three things. So French toast, which is very unique to me. When I got there, I'm like, okay, how Cuban is this French toast? But it's actually really, really good. The Cuban sandwiches, which are made perfectly. I mean, the pulled pork that I saw that they were using for these Cuban sandwiches was slow roasted. It was done well. The sandwich was great. Jose loved it. And also, the empanadas there are delicious. Try the empanadas. They're shareable. Everybody will love them. Go into number 7, which is more of a higher end restaurant, which is Abel and Brown's Southern Kitchen and Oyster Bar. These guys have blown me away with everything they put in front of us. So a few things that we loved here. The oysters on a half shell, they're known for the oysters. They're locally sourced, they're really fresh, and we loved all of the oysters there. But if you want something more cooked, go ahead and get the mussels. They come in like a green curry base. I've never had a green curry mussel, but it was so good. We were literally fighting over this at the table. It was really, really good. So it's definitely something you must try. Other than that, we have the prawns and grits. Instead of shrimp and grits, they're doing jumbo prawns with the grits. The prawns were delicious, and the grits had a perfect texture. And lastly, the pork chop. You gotta try the Kurobuta pork chop. Kurobuta pork chop is like the Wagyu of pork, if you will. It is a delicious pork chop. We loved it. It was grilled to perfection. It was a premium cut. It blew us away. Even the desserts there, like the chocolate croissant bread pudding, blew us away. So I don't think you can go wrong with the menu here, but the menu does change a lot. So even the things I'm explaining to you, I'm not sure will be on the menu because they keep everything fresh, everything new. Now, there was a hotel in Augusta called the Partridge Inn. This hotel is very historical, really cool hotel. But beyond that, there were 2 restaurants in this hotel. One is called 8595 and one is called 6 South on the rooftop. 8595, you need to go there if you love steak. If you want to have a good steak, just go there. Go nowhere else but 8595. You tried the giant beef rib, which blew me away personally. Something I tried personally. The beef rib was huge. It was delicious. It was tender, like fall off the bone tender. I felt like a caveman eating that big thing, but it was delicious. Secondly was a roasted duck with cheese ravioli. The duck was also done perfectly. I loved the ravioli, but the roasted duck was just delicious. Jenny tried that, loved it. And lastly, the crusted ribeye. That is like the king of the show for us. That was a really, really good ribeye steak. It was perfectly seared, had a crust at the top that was just really, really, really good. So if you want to try a good steak, go there, try those 3 things. Now, 6 South is on the rooftop. If you're done eating and you want to just hang out, look over the city, chill a little bit, 6 South is for that. There's a lot of great finger foods when you go there. A few things that you might want to ask for. The Sichuan spicy wings are like a go-to for me. They're not too spicy, but they do have a kick, like a pretty strong kick. There's also a lobster ceviche that you definitely need to try. And lastly, a Wagyu tartare, which we loved. If you like ceviche, the lobster ceviche is going to be unique. I wish it had a little bit more lime, to be honest, but it was still really, really fresh, really, really delicious. But the Wagyu tartare was also something that was hands down really good. And I can't forget number 10, which is the historical Hildebrandt. This restaurant has been around longer than all of the other places we've talked about in this episode. They have been around since 1879, and they serve up a lot of different German and American infused sandwiches. So if you do go here, the number one thing on the menu in my humble opinion, is going to be the sweet heat. It is a toasted panini filled with spiced meats, and it comes with a spicy honey that you can dip it in. It is pretty delicious. I think it was the number one thing that Jose tried and the number one thing that I tried as well. And after that, go ahead and ask them for the Reuben. I would say between the Reuben and the sweet heat, those are the two best things you can try on the menu. So definitely try those out. So there you have it. That's my list of 10 restaurants that you need to try in Augusta. If you think I missed something, let me know. Otherwise, we will talk to you guys soon.